Howdy y'all, Big Country here with Big Country Survival, and this is my EDC knife. Nah, I'm just kidding. Little bit too big. Carry around every day. Just a little humor here. So I'm doing my personal EDC. I was planning on doing a video with me and my brother. It's eventually I'm going to be able to get his EDC, but just having the time, because it's going to make it a long video to do our two EDCs together, and so I'll just do mine, and we'll do his at a later date. My EDC changes from time to time. I'm drinking coffee from my head hunting in Borneo coffee mug I got in Malaysia. So it's about 4 o'clock in the evening. 1600 folks, 1600. Anyway, so we'll get around to his. I was gonna do it last night, but I got started picking beans and then stringing beans, and so work takes precedence over YouTube videos, especially when that work involves putting food away for the winter, and the lean times. Anyway, so I'll start out with my EDC. Alright, one thing I always carry with me is a bandana. Ain't nothing special. I have different colors and everything else. There's so many uses for a bandana. I mean, you know, everything from a breathing mask to, you know, your girlfriend forgot tissues or your wife forgot tissues and you're watching I Can Only Imagine and she's crying. Happened. Oh shoot, almost forgot to get this out. I've got all of this stuff out, pretty much out of my person, but yeah, I do carry all this that I'm gonna get into, and so now we're gonna get into some of the boring stuff, get that out of the way. I carry a piece of soapstone, otherwise known as kiln, in the holder. This is good for marking steel, for cutting or welding, or just in general, just marking steel. That's my profession. I work with steel. And then I carry a regular pen. This isn't anything, you know, no super special tactical pen or anything. Just a regular run-of-the-mill gimme pen, freebie. So there's that. I got my wallet. Just a little trifold wallet, nothing special on it. I keep in it, I'm not going to get into it, but I do keep some cash, keep pictures of family, emergency phone numbers, that sort of thing. And then I also keep this. This is from the fine folks at Red Seal Snuff. Can opener, bottle opener, a couple different size wrenches, a little gauge here, butterfly wrench, ruler. It's handy. I could sharpen up one side and make it into a knife, but then if I go on a plane I couldn't take it, so I'll just leave that be. Oh boy, everyone's having a good time on the quads and four-wheelers riding up and down the road. It's kind of one of the ways people around here get from point A to point B. Okay, so I got that. Carry my snuff, which will hopefully soon be replaced by... I'm sorry, I'm looking down and the dog is in the yard and she's just laying there all sad looking up at me. Why are you so sad looking? She says, 'cause I want to be up there. But anyway, so yeah, hopefully this will eventually be replaced, and by eventually I mean soon, by fully loaded brand tobacco-free snuff or tobacco-free chew, whatever they're calling it. Supposed to feel like real chew and actually has nicotine in it, but there's no tobacco, so I'll hopefully be able to use that to wean myself off of the nicotine, as you can get it at different strengths, like full, half, and 0. So we'll try it. I might do a review on it at some point after I get it. I mean, if it's any good or if it's not, I'll let you guys know, for anybody who might be interested in that. I know it's not really a survival thing, but having a chemical addiction to something is negative, especially something that causes cancer. I like my snuff. I mean, I do. But, I mean, it just is what it is. So, got my keys. Let's see. The lanyard I made myself out of paracord, 550 paracord. I keep a trigger lock on here, and of course got my USN little thingamajig keychain on here. But the one neat little thing I've got is this. As a mini flathead screwdriver, and you unscrew this end and you've got a little mini Phillips head screwdriver. I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. And it's made to look like a pin. I just realized that I lost the part that goes there, but I'll find it later. But so that's my keys. Alright, we'll do flashlight. Actually, we'll do this. This is one of my methods of starting a fire, and I did something I think it's kind of neat. I can adjust, it goes around my neck, and I can adjust how tight it is around my neck to some degree. But this is a magnesium rod with a ferrule and the little flint striker, and so I've got a capability of starting a fire. And just put it around my neck, carry it with me wherever I go. And then I have another method of starting a fire, which is a little cheapo pink lighter that has the adjustable flame. So there's that. That's pretty neat. And dog's going into the woods, having a good time. But I always carry either a pink or a blaze orange lighter on my person. They're both high visibility. They're unnatural colors, so if I would drop it in the woods, it stands out. The benefit added of a hot pink lighter, a lot of guys don't want to steal a hot pink lighter, so it's a good way to hang on to them. I'm man enough to carry a pink lighter around. Okay, so now we'll do the flashlight. This is just a mag light, 250 lumen, takes 3 AAA batteries. I've done some modification to it. This is glow tape, glows in the dark. Probably won't be able to get it dark enough so you can see the glow, but trust me, it glows in the dark. It's handy, so I can find it easily at night. And I've also done a little paracord wrap around it that actually fits pretty comfortably in my hand. It's got multiple settings: strobe, regular, SOS. Yeah, and then there's a couple of different settings, but those are the 3 most useful ones to me. So there's that. Now the knife. Well, before we get into knives, because knives is bigger than. I'm still carrying around a Taurus PT-111 9mm, 12+1 rounds, spare magazine. Keep hollow points in it unless I'm walking around on the farm. Then I usually will swap out for regular ball ammo on one magazine anyway. Because on the farm, mostly what I end up shooting is snakes or varmints of some variety, and a 9mm ball ammo will do just as good. And ball ammo is cheaper than hollow point. we'll leave it at that. Everyone likes to knock Taurus. Like, people just have a thing against Taurus, and I don't understand it, because I mean, I've had no issues with this particular pistol. I think mine's a 2nd gen. Mine, if I do recall, mine's under the label of 2nd gen. I guess they were in the first stages of these PT-111s. They had some issues, and they fixed it for the 2nd generation. Alright, now for my standard use knife, I carry either or of these. This is my work knife, just a Milwaukee Stanley knife, little folder. Or I carry my Leatherman. This is usually my going into town knife, or my I'm not planning on doing a whole lot of cutting, hard work kind of stuff like this. I work in a fab shop. This is just easier. I get the blades for free at work, and so I carry this at work. But when I'm not at work, most generally carry this little Leatherman folder that has a neat little feature of a little what's the word? Little clip. So I can put that on my my belt loop or what have you. It's pretty decent knife. I'm not usually a big fan of Leatherman, for the simple fact they think way too much of their stuff. My personal opinion, Leatherman's good, but it ain't good for what you pay for. It's just not. It's not worth it. I can get the same thing out of a Gerber, multi-tool wise especially. But I do like that one. I do like that knife. And I like this knife, a little Milwaukee. But I mean, and it's better than nothing. And like I said, disposable blades. Carry you some of them around. You're not worried about cutting and ruining a perfectly good knife. I also carry this. This is my little quintessential old man knife, quote unquote. What's that dog doing now? The Mastercraft, and this is actually a new addition. I swapped out my little Cutco from Utica, New York, the hawkbill blade for this. And just my little Mastercraft pocket knife. I mean, this is an old man knife. Let's face it. If you're gonna put a label on it, this is the knife that, you know, your grandpa had, or something along those lines. This kind of knife, this little knife, it's handy. It doesn't lock or anything, but it's handy. And it doesn't send up a bunch of red flags like, you know, that would, right? You know, like 99% of what most people do on a daily basis with a knife, they could do with a knife that size. Like most of what people do, they could do with a blade that size. Let's be real. Let's be honest here. And so I've got this little Mastercraft. This is a little cheapo, no-name multi-tool. I think it's patterned very loosely after a Leatherman style, but like one of the Leatherman knives. But I don't know. It's a cheapie. It's good little EDC. Just mostly what I use is the pliers. And so in all reality, I could get me a set of needle nose pliers if I had a pouch to put it in on my belt, and I could probably just stop carrying this, and I might do that one of these days. I might make me a pouch for a little good set of needle nose pliers. Alright, now this here is the last item on my EDC. This is my buck knife, well, one of my buck knives. I'm a big fan of buck. Buck knives are good. They've got a good warranty. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about buck made in the USA. Their Chinese ones are junk. You're paying for the name. So most of the ones that you're going to buy at Walmart are junk. But the bucks that are made in the USA, this is a buck 140 skeletized blade. You might have seen this in a previous video, and I had a paracord wrapping going through here, so it made it exceptionally comfortable to use. But still, it's not uncomfortable to use skeletized like this. But I actually got some squirrel entrails on the paracord, and I said, you know, I'll just take the paracord off and do this. But I like this little knife because it's small. It doesn't really send off a bunch of, you know, red flags of, oh, that guy's carrying a hunting knife. What in the world is he gonna do? You know, one of them deals. I've had those conversations with people. As if open carrying a pistol. You would think that this would send off, like, because I open carry a fair bit, but you would think that on my belt would send off more, you know, panicked response than carrying a hunting knife. Like, you know, you would think that people, if they were going to be concerned about me carrying anything on my belt, you would think they'd be more concerned with the pistol than the hunting knife. But no, they're concerned about my hunting knife, if I carry a hunting knife. So that's why I carry this. You know, like I said, it's small, it's light. I think this is about a 3-inch blade. I've got these little, it's got little ribs on it. Here makes it comfortable. I don't know, I like it. And that's my EDC. That's what I carry. I don't really have much else to say about it other than I'll be getting to work on trying to get my brother's EDC video done, and you've got other, you know, suggestions on the EDC, that's good. And I might actually get around eventually to doing something that Rogue Preparedness. I like her channel. She put together an EDC belt, just a money belt, and she had a bunch of extra stuff like tinfoil and things like that that would be really handy in a survival situation in a belt. Like just inside the belt, put it on every day, forget about it. I mean, you wear a belt every day anyway. Well, sometimes I wear bibs, but you know what I mean. I think that's about all I've got. Y'all have a good one. This is Big Country with Big Country Survival. Drinking my coffee in 90 some odd degree heat. God bless.